Roses are red and violets are blue. One day we'll cruise down Blood Gulch Avenue. It's red versus red and blue versus blue. It's I against I and me against you. Hello, dear viewers. It's time for another Death Battle reaction. And this one is going to be a special one because it's once again featuring the cast and characters of the popular web series Red vs. Blue. And this one will also be a little unique in that it seems like it'll be the first squad-on-squad battle. The red team versus the blue team. Now, Red vs. Blue has been a long-running series made using the backdrop of the Halo games. And as a longtime Halo fan, that love for the game has further extended to Red vs. Blue, and I've been watching their series ever since I first learned about it back in middle school. I didn't have the most stable internet connection, so I resorted to just watching the series on DVD. And the first DVD I ever got was from GameStop back, oh god, I want to say 2007, 2006, I think 7, because I heard my friends talking on and on and on about this show, and I was like, well, what's it about? And when I saw the DVD back at GameStop, because that's where there was a time GameStop actually sold DVDs, I picked up the season 3 of Red vs. Blue because I was stupid back then, but a lot of it didn't make sense, but it was still entertaining to say the least. And I fell in love with the series and look forward to the next installment. And eventually got seasons 4, 2, and eventually 1. And I've progressively watched the seasons. Once I had a stable internet connection, I finally started watching those online. And I grew to love these characters. And a lot has changed. New characters have been added, new locations. They've gone through various character arcs. And to see these characters finally going at it to see who would win this fight in the middle of a box canyon will be really interesting. And for the first time, well, not the first time, but for this particular fight, I will be watching the full video and reacting to it, because it's rare that I can say that I know both these characters, or both these factions, I guess in this instance, and that I could give my input as to who I think would win. And I think they're going to wind up killing themselves off. At least it will be entertaining, and I can't wait to see what happens. So, with all this out of the way, my love of Red vs. Blue exposed, I can't wait to see how this plays out and who wins. And I want to say, first off, thank you to Red vs. Blue and Rooster Teeth for all of the years of great content, and I hope you continue this well into the future. You guys have come a long way, and I'm so proud to have stuck with you since I first found out about you. Definitely, you've made an impact on my life, and I can't wait to see how this plays out. So, let's get started. Three, two, one, let's play.
We wanted to to thank Harry's for sponsoring today's episode. Harry's razors combine a close shave and a smooth glide without being over-designed or overpriced. And now Harry's has a great offer for you.
Rooster Teeth itself has come a long way, not just as a, because they used to be just like a small-time studio in Austin, Texas, and before then it was just like this small group of guys who just got together and just made a video using, like I said, the backdrop of Halo to make this cartoon series. Almost like Dragon Ball Abridged, almost. And it just all started with this one joke. That was, you ever wonder why we're here? Well, now we know why we're here. We're going to see a death battle. And this, Harry's ad has gone on for a literal minute now. I know that they need money, and we're here.
Edison versus Tesla. Coke versus Pepsi. Goku versus Superman. Few rivalries have lasted nearly 2 decades or spawned epic battles like our second favorite web series, Red versus Blue. With the Red Team, even though most of them don't actually wear red. And the Blue Team, their perpetual ocean-colored rivals. For this battle, we'll be bringing these two groups back to where it all started. To find out what would have happened if they had stopped dicking around and actually just fought for real. Just a note, we will be locking any artificial intelligence characters within their primary bodies, since they're generally invincible unless they stumble into an EMP. You mean an M?
Yep. Red versus Blue jokes.
And it's our job to analyze
so basically
the skills to find out who would win a death battle.
There'll be a game of capture the flag, but for realsies. And to the death.
You ever wonder why we're here?
No respawns.
Not long from now, in a galaxy theoretically exactly where we are, humanity goes to war with an alien covenant.
I've always wondered if Red vs. Blue was part of Halo's canon.
And one of those was called Project Freelancer. Essentially an experiment using AI to create
343 needs to confirm this or something.
In order to fabricate scenarios to train these highly advanced warriors, Freelancer opted for a unique approach. Dumping a bunch of losers in a box canyon and telling them they're at war with each other. Enter the Red Team. Dick Simmons, Dexter Griff, Franklin Delano Donut, Lopez the Heavy, and their leader, Super Colonel Sarge. Yes, that is his full name and rank. You know how they say prejudice is
always told me just for the
Well, they haven't met Super Colonel Sarge, who I bet was screaming how much he hates Blue the second he popped into the world.
Attention, Blue Team! This is the Red Team! We are here to destroy you! The long reign of being the shittiest team around is about to come to a sudden and cataclysmic end!
Once an orbital drop shock trooper, Sarge was unfortunately discharged after developing a fear of heights, only to be picked up by Project Freelancer to achieve
I never knew that about Sarge.
Lead the glorious Reds against the dirty Blues. Man, he's great. He seems like the kind of guy you could just have a catch with. Sure. Sarge may be an unorthodox leader, but he knows his men very well. Hey, he's good enough to keep dorks like Griff and Simmons around for 17 seasons, and those two spend a lot of time together. It's a complicated relationship, though you may be surprised at their capabilities. Simmons may be a brilliant geek, like myself, but he proves stereotypes wrong by changing his armored suit in just 4 seconds.
Well, how about this? How did you change so fast? I've always been a fast changer.
Mjolnir armor is designed to be applied by Spartans within a considerable few minutes. This would imply Simmons is 90 times faster than the average super soldier. He's also technically a cyborg.
Well, I think that was a joke. But...
Meanwhile, Griff is the laziest member of the team, who only cares about pizza and Oreos. He's my favorite. He's also been hit in the nuts more times than I can count, and he's still standing today. That's some balls of steel right there.
Okay.
Then there's Donut. Easily duped,
got the grip shot.
He's clearly identifiable by his lightish red
but
armor. Was your eyes going bad? That's big. Magenta. Donut has shown incredible tenacity. He was once shot through the chest, causing his armor to lock up, and was left bleeding out on the ground for over a year, but he got better. And he's got the best throwing arm around. He threw a grenade halfway across the canyon, which is over 1,500 feet long. And last of all is the team robot who hates everyone, Lopez.
Yeah.
Hola.
Lopez! Hey, that robot looks like Lopez.
Hey, Regrasado.
No matter how many times they rebuild him, they can never figure out how to fix that language setting.
And
Oh well.
keeps getting broken.
The Reds carry a standard Spartan assortment of magnums,
And
battle
they
rifles, and
never
SMGs.
can understand
But
him.
if I had to pick one weapon of the bunch, I'd have to go with Sarge's trusty shotgun. Seriously? The weapon with the shortest range? Wiz, how long have we known each other? Have you never looked at my leg before? Besides, an effective range of 45 meters is almost the length of an Olympic swimming pool. Watch your back, Michael Phelps. I know how to beat you now. Of course, we can't forget their hallmark vehicle,
The Warthog.
You mean the Puma?
Yep.
AKA Chupa Thingy. This 3-ton supercar tops out at 78 miles per hour. And
Now, if
is
we're going with the
heavily
Halo
armored.
one, it's
Well,
not
it's supposed
indestructible,
to.
but if we're going
Somehow
with
the
every
Reds
other
always
version,
find new ways to break the thing.
no.
Lucky that Sarge is a good mechanic. And you know what they say,
No,
Wiz?
Lopez is
Good
the best
mechanics make
mechanic.
for good fathers. But what I find most baffling is that for some reason, these low-life dimwits have been given the most state-of-the-art Space Marine armor in the galaxy. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Mark 6 Mjolnir suit.
Mjolnir.
Gesundheit. Titanium plating, energy shields, hydrostatic gel, liquid metal crystal.
Yet they
These
can be
babies
taken
can
out with-
take one hell of a beating. Apparently strong enough to withstand the blast of a 50-megaton bomb. Gotta love it when a bomb goes up
Yeah,
that's so
weather
big, you think it
bomb.
sent you to the future. Good times. But when push came to shove, the Reds banded together to take down one of the deadliest warriors in the galaxy.
The Meta.
Despite all logic and reason, the two pillars I hold most dear, I am forced to admit these morons have proven to be a mind-bogglingly impressive team.
Yeah.
I'm not ordering you to go. I ain't even asking. You do what you gotta do, Private Griff.
I'll go get my car keys.
All right then. Let's move.
I thought there'd be more interaction with the Reds and Blues.
The Blues. They're
All
not
right, let's
just
see
a
what the
great
blue
way to
team
sing
has.
out all those complicated, messed up feelings you keep down about being
Yeah, and the blue
fatherless.
team,
They're the second half
they're
of this
the,
epic.
guys
But,
that
singing
have the
blues
plot.
would be perfect for this team. They've been through a lot.
Oh, yeah.
True.
The
Unlike
most
the
skills.
Reds, they've suffered numerous casualties and are
Mostly
constantly
sure.
plagued by Project Freelancer's experiments. You know how they were experimenting with AI? They could only get one, an alpha based on the project's director. Shit went down and they had to hide the alpha where
Yep.
nobody would ever find
There
it.
goes Florida.
Apparently, this box canyon in the middle of nowhere seemed the perfect fit. This is Blue Team. Leonard Church, Lavernius Tucker, Agent Texas, Sheila, who is a living tank, and Caboose. After losing their original captain to a,
Aspirin
allergy
overdose.
incident, Church reluctantly stepped up to be the Blue Team's unofficial leader. Spoiler alert, he's the secret alpha AI. I don't know what makes him so special, though.
He's a pretty bad
cranky
leader.
asshole who's terrible at literally everything he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know he's an AI. He thinks he's a ghost. But remember that
motherfucker.
50 megaton bomb?
And
Church's
there
team
goes
all
my
survived it too,
monetization.
including himself,
If I
while
did.
it was
so.
inside his own body.
Marathon.
Hell?
Tucker wants you to think he's a ladies' man. However, after
He's
careful,
not.
painstaking analysis,
He's
we
actually
have
a
determined that
decent
he
soldier.
has very little game, being that his most frequent hookup is a rock. He's kind of a badass, though. He stabbed the Meta, Shoryuken to Cyclops in the balls, and held off a small army of mercenaries by himself. He even wields a kick-ass energy sword that only works for him. But for the biggest badass of the bunch, look no
Tex.
further than Agent Texas. Tex is an anomaly. She's not really
So I
a
guess
blue,
they're not doing
but a freelancer
Washington.
assigned to the team through circumstance. Yet she's also not really a freelancer, but a robot duplicate hosting an artificial intelligence fragment split from the Alpha as a clone of the director's late wife, Allison. Yeah,
That's a
duh, guys.
mouthful.
How'd you not see that coming from when the show started? Unfortunately, the text fragment is specifically based on the memory of Allison's death and the concept
Yeah,
of
and she
failure.
never
This
survived.
means that Tex is literally programmed to fail. Now, this doesn't mean she can't win fights or that her team can't succeed on missions. It's more of a personal defect. It sure hasn't stopped her from kicking some serious ass. Tex was #1 on the Freelancer leaderboard, easily caught this giant crate, and could even flip over Sheila. You know, the 66-ton tank with a mind of its own? The perfect companion for Caboose's team killing sprees. You all know Caboose, the funny fan favorite who can get you to quote everything he says.
I don't think...
And he's really dumb. Hey, speak of the dummy.
What else is new?
Perfect timing. As this battle will be in Blood Gulch, the usual teleportation units will be in place. The Blues have used these teleporters frequently with varying results. In you go.
Certainly.
Everything comes out.
What could go wrong?
Teleportation is instantaneous. As you can see,
it doesn't.
You totally
and everything comes out really black and hot.
Aside from Tucker's kick-ass lightsaber, the Blues carry pretty boring weapons. I mean, they don't really need much when they have a robot ninja on their side. Church does have a cool sniper rifle, but he really sucks with it. Which sort of makes sense. Unlike everyone else, Church never experienced any training or combat before Blood Gulch.
Any of them?
You know, that explains a lot. Even without specialized weapons, Blue Team has a few aces up their sleeves. Agent Tex carries an additional AI fragment, Omega. I prefer O'Malley, the fragment of the Alpha's rage. With it, she can use extra enhancement gear, such as a cloaking device. It also affects her personality, quite literally transforming her into a vicious killing machine. It can also pop out of her head and possess other people like a ghost. But remember, we're locking AIs to their bodies, because that is super overpowered. Even though Tex has shown incredible feats of strength, Caboose is surprisingly even stronger. In a robot body identical to the one she used to flip Sheila, Tex was unable to lift Andy the Bomb, while Caboose could do so for extended periods of time. And after entering an alien temple, Santa, don't question it, increased gravity by 10-fold, and Caboose didn't even notice. I remember a certain Saiyan struggling to do something like that. I mean, I guess this means Caboose is better than Goku. Stop it. Don't I'm kidding, you idiot. Still, Caboose was strong enough to defeat a bunch of Tex clones all at once. It's like they say, it's God's way of compensating. Unfortunately, the Blue Team has a tendency to get in way over their heads, often losing team members in the process. But somehow, some way, they always come back together. They're a good team in a weird, stupid way.
Sheila, shut him up.
Son of a bitch!
Okay.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities. And while the Reds and Blues fight over an empty canyon, you can fight hair loss with keeps. We don't need to tell any guys
Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to be like a joke fight, or if it's going to be a legitimate fight, but if it's a legitimate fight, I might have to go with the Reds. They're the actual. They actually get stuff done. They actually killed a freelancer, and Tex is a freelancer that's destined to fail. And I think in terms of vehicles, I think the Sheila is a lot bigger than the Puma. Pausing it. But if in Donut, I think Church is a horrible soldier. Caboose and Tucker might be the best bets for the Blue Team. Griff is lazy, and has a frequency of getting punched in the gonads more times than the Lord allows or should allow. Sarge he's a soldier, but uses a weapon that really isn't that effective at long ranges. So the best long range advantage the Red Team have is possibly Donut and that arm of his. I can't believe I'm seriously debating this. I've actually thought about this in the past, who would win based off of what weapons both sides seem to frequently use more often. And think the Reds have a better chance at winning because, I mean, let's face it, the Reds have had more characters survive where they might be dumber as a team. They still get more stuff done and they're more of a formidable fighting force. Whereas the Blues, I won't say that they have a greater tendency of dying because Church and Tex are technically AI and therefore are not alive. I still think that Tucker is probably the best soldier of the group, or at least in later seasons he becomes a better soldier. So I still think maybe the Reds might win, but I kind of want the Blues to win, but I don't know. So let's see what happens. I'm really conflicted on this. So Red versus Blue, who wins? I don't know. It's a really tough call.
Okay, why did we bring the flag out here? Because it's supposed to rain today.
That is
you
not
have to remember
Caboose.
to take your flag outside when it rains.
None of that is
That
right.
does not sound like
What's a
Caboose.
flag got to do with rain? Wait, do you think the flag is an umbrella? Caboose, have you ever seen an umbrella
Tucker
before?
that does not sound like Tucker.
Hey, yoink.
Suck on that, Blue!
Yeah, suck it, Blue. This'll stop them. Hey, dumbass! The teleporter never worked. Now, come on, let's...
Wait, where's Caboose?
Great work for that fake weather report, boys. That's the kind of fake news I like.
So it's nice to see that the Reds have their...
Let's go, Sheila. The only good red is a red in bed.
Grab, quit your staring and get to stepping. On the gas, pronto.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they got rid of Joel,
Sheila,
who played
remember that rock? Oh, no, there's another one.
Church,
Oh,
and
all these rocks out here.
Bruce, and this new guy sounds
Okay,
nothing like him.
Ben. Get your hand again from behind. Just like John Wayne would have done.
No way, those caves are amazing.
Move over, numbnut.
Wait, don't leave me out here.
Is that
Here's the plan.
Ramsey?
The Warthog is a battering ram, striking their rear engine, which will rupture and cause the tank to self-destruct in a glorious explosion.
Excellent plan, sir. Except for, well, all of it. You know, maybe...
Oh, that's a better plan than I thought.
Who's holding on to the flag?
Jesus, what was that? Where's it? Simmons? Simmons! No!
Well, Simmons is down. I don't think Simmons would have lasted long. Yeah, Simmons wasn't going to last long.
Oh no, a spider!
And there it goes.
Yeah! Who else
Church.
wants to
I mean,
taste this
Sheila.
big D? Bouncy Cabello!
4 on 4 now.
End of the line, Reds.
Dirty Blue, for the first time in history, you're exactly right. Today is a good day to die. Charge!
Yeah. Ooh. But both vehicles are down now. Wow, that was actually pretty good on Griff's part. And there goes his nuts. I don't think Lopez would care if he killed it by 11. Ooh.
Idiota. Tienes la oportunidad contra mí porque yo soy el López al pasado.
Wow.
Mierda.
I've never hit a lady. Good thing you're no lady.
So it's now 2-1, 4. No, 3-4. 2-4.
About time.
Judge, how do I help? Just stay there, Caboose. I want your help. Help by not helping. God damn it, this rifle is busted. Help has arrived. Caboose, no!
Of course.
No! Tucker did it. Son of a...
This is it. This is what it's all about.
Did he just kill like 3 of them?
Blood versus water, which is really just lifeless, tasteless, waste of space blood. Destiny awaits. Today, the cerulean devil dies.
Oh god.
Well, should have seen that coming. Blood.
Good thing the flag is out.
Okay, Blues won.
What a battle! Who knew weather was so important? As chaotic as the show, we all know. Okay, so the Reds had plenty going for them. They had brains and speed on their side with Simmons, and they had some epic firepower, but the blue team had the grit to overpower them. When it comes to physical strength, nobody on the red team came close to the raw power of Tex and Caboose. Flipping Sheila and lifting Andy made that pretty clear. Hell, Sarge even tried to lift Andy once and he couldn't do it. Poor guy. Even with such charisma, leadership qualities, and big dad energy, you can't win them all. Speaking of which, it could be argued Sarge has more extensive military experience than anyone else. However, Tex's freelancer training was far more intensive than standard military issue. Just look at what she did to the Reds before. She's a monster. Not to mention, she technically had 2 lifetimes of training, being a copy of Allison and all. Yeah, her lame programming meant she couldn't win the fight by herself, but her blue teammates picked up the slack. Tucker even got some freelancer training in too, thanks to Agent Washington, and could hold off a platoon of mercs all by himself. No one ever said he wasn't good at solo activities. Oh, and in the fight between tanks versus cars, tanks generally win. I mean, that one's pretty obvious. The red team may have been extremely resilient, mostly thanks to aggravating stubbornness, but it wasn't enough to survive the stellar skill and the brute force of blue team. If only they could have read that they'd end up with a case of the blues.
That's even without releasing the obviously superior power of artificial intelligence units.
You know, dummy, you ever wonder why you're here?
All the time.
The winner is the blue team.
Congratulations, Blues.
Thanks for checking out that episode of Death Battle. If you like that fight, be sure to check out the new season of RVB that I worked on.
I'm so glad that the Blues won. That was a good fight. Okay, next time. Batwoman, or Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. Okay, that's an interesting matchup. Another Bat versus Spider matchup. But that was a great matchup. I really enjoyed a lot of it, but some of the voice acting really threw me off. It wasn't as great as voice acting because a lot of the guys are no longer with us. Not that they're dead, but they're just not under Rooster Teeth's employ. And it's a shame we didn't get to see them. And we didn't really get to see the Reds and Blues interact again with Wiz and Boomstick. Like they did for Maine versus Carolina. But this was a great fight. I think that that sniper shot on Caboose's part was really, really fortunate. And I think that they did that just for the sake of time constraints. But it was an interesting matchup. And you can understand why I was conflicted as to who would win and who wouldn't. But thank you for watching, and look forward to the next matchup. And thank you, Rooster Teeth, for all the great years of Red versus Blue content. And I'm always looking forward to seeing what you have in store for us next. And until next time, thanks for watching.